Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. So I welcome you all for the World Waste to Wealth Summit 2023, being organized by IT Mining Foundation. Igniting dreams of young minds, which we call ITYM. It is a foundation that has working in the 195 countries of the world, and its main motto is to disseminate education on space and satellite technology. And yes, it keeps on organizing so many conferences on various issues, on various topics. And yes, every topic is unique and it is creating a lot of difference in the world. Today we are here to discuss on waste to wealth. We know that nowadays, as the population is increasing, especially in the cities, if you see, as the population is increasing, so we are facing a global crisis to manage the waste. The waste that is being generated every day, it is really becoming a very big problem. So how to manage it? Yes, of course, like I'm working on one of the projects with my students where we are trying to have a smart waste management system using Internet of Things, using and combining it with like AI and all. And so there are many methods like we can manage the waste, but how this waste can be converted into something useful. That is again more important. Well, during the conference, I will be like listening to all of you, and I will be also sharing my experiences. So let's start with our first speaker, Rania Lampa ma'am from Greece.
Greetings from Greece. Thank you, Dr. Anzoum. Many congratulations to IDYM for this initiative, and warmly thank Dr. Ravi Shankar for his invitation. Today, it's a very interesting topic because we'll talk about the new alchemy, how to create gold from garbage. The story of garbage processing is changing globally, and now we talk about waste to wealth, how to move a waste to a valuable and desirable level. So advances in recycling technologies have all this potential to reduce the global demand for the raw materials. And recent developments include ultra-fast, for instance, pyrolysis and on-site recycle systems, as well as they use bacteria to tackle plastic waste. And at the same time, startups are making recycling technologies affordable and scalable to address the already sustainable waste management problem. When we talk about waste or waste stream is this term which describes a steady flow of varied waste that we all produce, from domestic garbage and yard waste to industrial, commercial, and construction refuse. And the types of waste are industrial, hazardous, toxic waste, or biodegradable, and electronic waste. The World Health Organization estimates that about a quarter of the diseases faced by humans today occurs due to this exposure to environmental pollution and improper solid waste management. So green waste are a good approach for a solid waste management effectively. And we talk about new technology trends nowadays. You mentioned already about Internet of Things, Internet of Waste, IoT, enable waste management, and this can reduce a lot of the inefficiencies in waste logistics. From field level sensors to smart bins and material quality assessing sensors, the recycling industry can now leverage the Internet of Waste to streamline operations. Another important trend is chemical recycling. Because why? Because sustainable development goals and customer preferences are driving the demand for secondary raw materials. This is why the industry is adopting chemical waste recycling methods. So recyclers leverage pyrolysis, I mentioned before, gasification, solvolysis, to recover materials without degrading their quality. So chemical recycling-based secondary materials replace raw materials from the manufacturing supply chain and reduce carbon emissions. So this expands the market for secondary raw materials. Another important technology that we can mention concerns recycling robots. Startups develop recycling robots to automate and augment sorting lines with AI-powered classification and sorting systems. And such robots, of course, can increase the picking speed, they can minimize errors, they can improve efficiency. Something else which is important is, of course, AI, artificial intelligence, because allows plastic recycling facilities to automate material analysis, to automate sorting and picking tasks. It improves, very important, it improves worker safety by reducing human exposure to hazardous waste streams. And to integrate AI into workflows, startups utilize machine learning and deep learning. Among others, a computer vision to capture unique characteristics in mixed waste streams in order to improve quality control. Green waste management, it's important because food waste contributes to about 8% of anthropogenic greenhouse gas emissions. Green waste management startups develop now solutions to upcycle organic waste into stabilized organic compounds, carbon dioxide and methane. And this includes, of course, compost facilities that convert the green waste into biofuel or fertilizers. Recycling technologies also play an important role in extending material life cycles. Closed-loop recycling and chemical recycling techniques have a great impact on material life cycle exclusion and extension. And something also that I mentioned before is that there are companies that are called waste recovery companies that they try to leverage biological and chemical means to upcycle the waste streams. Startups are developing these technologies to convert solid and organic waste into energy and other chemicals. For instance, they offer anaerobic digesters that use bacteria to treat the organic waste and generate biogas. And of course, such solutions allow recycling facilities to divert waste from landfills and create more revenue. In any case, of course, big data, I forgot to say that we use nowadays these data points. Big data, advanced analytics, because they allow recyclers to identify process inefficiencies, they facilitate flow management, and of course, they enable advanced data processing techniques such as machine learning and deep learning. So transitioning to a world without waste means giving the next generation the knowledge, skills, and motivation to cope with these environmental issues. If we talk about waste management in schools, you know, produce a lot of waste. This is normal because schools generally house hundreds, if not thousands of people all at once. So a school's priority should be twofold: reduce waste produced while proactively implementing a recycling culture. Waste management, of course, is a huge responsibility for schools, which is often harder to manage. What could be some solutions for this, or could be some suggestions for waste management to schools to supply, of course, more bins for the school, better separate waste, start composting programs, improve waste reduction, encourage paperless processes, start reusable bottle SIM, of course, educate and train staff and students, and all this could lead to a more to a cleaner school and a more recycling-proof sustainability, which will promote responsible waste habits in children and which create genuinely impactful teaching opportunities with our students, improve relationship with the community through donation schemes, very important. This also leads to fewer hazards. Globally, there are some waste management programs that are very interesting. Ghana is a regional leader in tackling plastic waste, was the first African country to join the Global Plastic Action Partnership. Recycle Up is a program of Ghana, which runs waste reduction schemes through a nationwide waste education campaign. And also in South Africa, there are many zero waste projects in Nigeria also. If we talk about India, I saw somewhere, I read somewhere that the Prime Minister of India praised the efforts of students of St. Teresa College in Kerala for their unique use of sustainable and upcycled material to make toys for children, for the privileged children in the state. So this initiative provides the privileged children with quality toys, solving the waste problem. In the USA also, in Taiwan has long been a world leader in recycling education, having implemented waste management education in schools since the decade of 80s. Malaysia also has established Smart Ranger program and has this Global Environmental Center. New Zealand also, and Scotland. So, of course, technology is important now, but education should go along with it. It's important for changing human behavior, for green classrooms and environmentally oriented education for children. And this way, children can instill good environmental habits and behaviors, and ultimately can impact change to parents and communities. The education can equip young people with skills that can help them develop innovative solutions, for instance, to climate change. And education can promote, of course, innovation to expand green infrastructure solutions and to equip people with skills to build with environmentally friendly, energy efficient, and climate resilient materials and renewable options. So thank you very much for your attention and the invitation also.
Yeah, ma'am. And thank you very much for the wonderful start of today's conference. Like, as listening to you, you talked about some of the latest technologies, in fact, the deep learning, machine learning, robotics, big data analytics, and how we can be using those technologies. So it was really a very great start of the conference. And yes, of course, you also talked about how we can raise awareness among the students. We need to change the habits also, because yes, the waste that is being accumulated everywhere. The humans need to change some kind of habits. We need to inculcate those habits of maintaining green classrooms, clean classrooms, even in the students. So that was really a very great speech. Thank you for joining us.
It's what we call a waste-wise school. Cultivate a waste-wise. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And for this, I'll take this opportunity to welcome on this platform our one more speaker, Azra Tazizi from Iran. Azra, ma'am.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me here. Can I share my slides? Is possible?
Okay. Yeah. And
just a second, I will share my slide. Is visible now?
no, it's not visible.
It doesn't allow me. Okay, I will continue. It doesn't allow me to share files. I will continue by talk. Okay, no problem. Yes, waste to wealth, path to sustainable, secure future. Waste to wealth is a concept that has gained significant attention in recent years. It refers to a process of converting waste to wealth materials into valuable resources, thereby reducing waste and creating economic opportunities. This concept is particularly relevant in today's world. Also, waste management has become a major challenge due to increasing population and urbanization. The benefits of waste to wealth are numerous. Firstly, it helps to reduce the amount of waste that ends up in landfills, which can have negative environmental impacts such as pollution, greenhouse gas emissions. Secondly, it creates economic opportunities by generating income from the sale of recycled materials. Thirdly, it promotes sustainable development by reducing resource depletion and conserving natural resources. There are several ways in which waste can be converted into waste. One common method is recycling, which involves collecting and processing waste materials such as paper, plastic, glass, and metal into new product. Another method is compositing, which involves compositing organic waste to such as food scraps and yard trimming into rich soil that can be used for gardening and farming. You know, recycling is a process to change waste materials into new products. Recyclable materials include glass, paper, hand, nylon, broken plastic, metal, plastic tires, carton, and electronics. Gathering the plastic waste from refuse dumps, sorting at the dump site, and reuse, upcycling. We can reuse our waste materials. And here, in addition to these methods, there are also innovative technologies being developed that can convert waste into energy, other valuable products. For example, some companies are using these waste materials to convert organic waste into other energies used for heating and electricity generation. Others are to convert plastic waste into fuel and other chemicals. Despite the many benefits of waste to waste, there are still challenges that need to be addressed. One of major challenges is the lack of infrastructure for collecting and processing waste materials in many parts of the world. Another challenge is the need for more education and awareness about the importance of recycling and other forms of waste reduction. Waste to waste is a promising concept that has potential to address both environmental and economic challenges facing our world today. By converting waste materials into valuable resources, we can reduce pollution, conserve natural resources, and create economic opportunities. However, to fully realize the benefits of waste to waste, we need to invest in infrastructure, education, and innovation. Also, some ways to raise awareness in the waste to waste field, organized community events such as workshops, seminars, conferences, and to educate people about the benefits of waste management, how it can be turned into a profitable business. Social media companies use social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, and also Instagram to create awareness about waste management, its potential for waste creation. Collaborate with local business, partner with local business such as recycling companies and waste management firms to create awareness about importance of proper waste disposal. Create educational materials, develop educational materials such as brochures, flyers, and posters that highlight the benefits of waste management and how it can be turned into profitable business, and involve schools in waste management initiative by organizing competitions that encourage students to come up with innovative ideas for turning waste to wealth, and government support. Also, public-private partnership, reduce, reuse, and recycle. The 3 R's of waste management are the most effective strategies for waste to wealth, reducing the amount of waste generated, reusing items instead of throwing them away, and recycling materials can help to conserve resources and reduce the amount of waste that ends up in landfills, and compositing waste to energy upcycling. Upcycling is the process of transforming waste materials into new products, higher value or quality than original materials. Also, circular energy extends the producer, also education and awareness. And I don't want to give you many examples, but just want to manage time because of other speakers. I want to go to conclusion that finally the waste concept promotes social responsibility by encouraging individuals and organizations to take responsibility for their waste generation and disposal practices. By adopting sustainable practices, we can reduce our impact on environment. In conclusion, waste to wealth concept offers a promising solution for addressing challenges related to management in today's world. By promoting sustainable innovation and social responsibility, approach can help create more sustainable and prosperous future for ourselves and future generations. And a whole lot of waste being generated in every corner of Earth daily basis, from the household waste to industrial, medical waste, and chemical waste. Could be thousands of decomposers after have been burned, and we can use of them to energies. Thank you very much for listening and your attention. I tried to manage time. Sorry if it took long.
Thank you. That was really a great talk. And as you were talking about recycling and reusing, yes, of course, we should learn, because otherwise, the waste that is being collected, if we just go and throw it somewhere in the landfills, it is just going to increase, and also it is going to damage the environment again. So we have to develop new methods of recycling it also, like you were talking about. I have also, just a few years ago, I went to a school where I saw that they collect all the dried leaves and flowers, and they are converting it to vermicompost, and they're producing so much of the manure that they are selling it to the farmers and all. So yes, if we take up some products, of course, we can be dealing it with the waste management, and of course, we can be creating the waste into that. Thank you very much for joining. And
I had slides too, but I hadn't permission to share. Sorry for that.
Okay, might be your connection, might be some network issues from your side, so you were not able to kind of share that. It was really a great talk. With this, I take this opportunity to invite another speaker, Nirmala Devi from Malaysia. Nirmala, ma'am.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Nirmala Devi Kandasamy, an ESL educator from Malaysia. Thank you, Dr. Anjum Qureshi, for inviting me in this prestigious event. I'm so thankful to IDYM Foundation for always giving an opportunity, not only to me, but for all the educators around the globe, in order to share their ideas, their innovative projects, and their engagements, and in empowering other educators and students. Well, for me, as an ESL educator, I'm teaching in an elementary school. Students are 11 to 12 years old students, but there are students 7 to 12 years old in an elementary school, but my students are 11 to 12 years old. So when talking about e-waste management, plastic management, and many kinds of waste management, I think Ms. Rania and our speaker, another speaker, they spoke so well. In terms of different types of waste management and how to handle and all that, I'm so thankful for that. So with that, I'm going to jump into the empowering of my students in my own setting. You see, when we are talking about waste management in our house itself, every day we are cooking and then we are throwing garbage and all that. So since I'm so much so involved in sustainable development goals projects and all that for the past 5 years, so what I'm doing is that in the house, I told my mom that to keep whatever trash we have, to segregate the waste, and then so that we can send for recycling, not only for generating some money, but also for the taking care of the environment, because of the pollution, it's causing a lot of hazardous, a lot of problems for us itself. Ourselves also. So due to that, like kitchen waste, for example, every day we are cooking, we are using onions, we are using vegetables, so some of the vegetables are rotten, so we usually do not throw them away. So what we do is that we make composite fertilizer so that we can use that fertilizer, the organic fertilizer, to fertilize our plants. So I was doing this in the house, and I brought this ideas to my school, and I implemented this with my students. So as an ESL teacher, I usually go for teaching my students not only related to sustainable development goals, but also related to how to write sentences, how to write an essay using this kind of project. So that will be my aim, the main objectives, but at the same time tackling another objective of SDGs. So Dr. Anjum, I would like to share the screen to show a few slides that I prepared for this project, for this program, sorry. So am I able to share the screen, Dr. Anjum?
Yes, please share it.
Sure, doctor. Thank you. Okay, so. All right, let me share this. Okay. Okay, so dear educators, actually I've done a project called Go Green Project, where in this project, not only the students are engaged using technology tools of Microsoft, but also they are being trained as, how to lead a sustainable lifestyle by creating and contributing to a herbal garden in our school. Because even though the students, they have planted plants at their own houses, but then at the same time, as an educator pointed by our first speaker herself, that we need to educate our students in the school in order for them to learn not only taking care of the environment, but also the little things they have to know in saving the earth, Mother Earth. So due to that, I brought them to a nursery, which is a stone's throw away from my school. So I brought them there, and the person in charge taught the students how to start plantation activity. So meaning to say in terms of the first step, next step, and all that. So the steps were taught to the students. And some of my students were not involved in plantation activity. So that was the opportunity they had in order to touch the soil, and they did the planting work in the nursery. Then after that, once back to school, so we emulate the same steps, and we have created a herbal garden where we planted this turmeric, curry leaves, mint, and lemongrass, and few other local plants. Okay, so these plants are being taken care by the students. They brought the plants from home. So what we did was we took the kitchen waste they brought from home, and also from the school canteen. We collected the kitchen waste, and we have done the composite fertilizer. So by using that, with the students were actually watering the plants using the fertilizer that we have created on our own. So we could see that the growth of the plants were very greeny and very fresh. So from here, the student learned that not to use the chemical-based fertilizer in order to save the Mother Earth. So it was a PBL that we did for 3 months using many technology tools such as Flipgrid, Minecraft, PowerPoint, Sway application, through Microsoft Edge, and the students played Kahoot, and we had collaboration with local and global educators to spread the awareness to produce our own fertilizer, organic fertilizer. And so these are some of the samples of organic fertilizers that we have actually collected from the kitchen waste. So usually I tell my students to collect the kitchen waste and to soak them in water for about minimum of few days and just bring to the school. Because if we soak for so long, it accumulates a kind of gas. So it's very stinky, and I'm afraid of my students' safety and all that. So I told them just soak for a few days and bring in small containers so that we can use to water the plants in the school, in the school herbal garden, and also they can emulate this at home. And actually I have plans, plan B, where I'm going to take this at a bigger, higher level, where I'm going to get collaboration with NGOs and all that, so that my students can develop this project further. So these are some of the kitchen waste as well. These are something that we can find in the kitchen in daily use, where we don't normally throw away the rotten vegetable, the rotten fruits and all that. So we collect them and we manage the waste. So these are my students who joined this project, and they are actually standing in the herbal garden. Okay, let me go. Okay, so these are my students as well for the project. Okay, and in fact, for me, community service is very important. So I brought this project, if you can see here. So we brought the miniature of the plants that we have, the 6 types of plants that we planted in the herbal garden. From East Malaysia to West Malaysia, we brought these plants, and my students showcased this project to educators, stakeholders, and other students as well in West Malaysia. So they have been given international recognition certificates. And apart from this, my students also involved in e-waste management, where we managed to collaborate with educators from India and around the globe. This project is actually, the project head is from India. So we managed to win the first placing in Microsoft Good for Technology project last year in 2022. So that is one of the best recognitions my students managed to get, with the collaboration from Indian educators, Madam Paramjit Kaur. And at the same time, my students won this Global Excellency Award in Suchana in Satwa project, where they managed to produce zero costing fertilizer using coffee ground, banana peel, and also the banana skin, and also eggshells. So they combine all these 3 ingredients, and they made fertilizer at zero costing, and managed to plant some plants like chilies, aubergine, and also okra. Okay, so this is the glimpses of the herbal garden that I'm talking about. So as you can see, we have these bitter leaves, and we have this local plant. This is only available in the state that I'm staying. This is a local plant, and this is the mint. I'm sure many of us are aware of this mint, which is an effective remedy for cough and cold. And this is a plant to get rid of mosquitoes, which is available in our local district. Okay, so these are some of the steps that actually I've taken in order to engage and empower my students. Apart from teaching them the language, I always engage them in understanding SDGs, what are our roles in order to support UN SDG goals, apart from learning English language. For me, empowering my learners to learn English language is the main objective, and the sub-objectives are to make sure they understand their roles of saving the environment as shared responsibility. So these are some of the success stories that I have done, and I hope to get collaborations from NGOs and in my local setting in order to develop the project related to zero costing fertilizer. So I hope I've shared something that will be useful for educators, and I'm thankful to Rania ma'am and our second speaker for able to give the information related to many kinds of waste management. But for me, these are some of the steps that I've taken in order to engage my learners. That's all, Dr. Anjum Qureshi from me. Thank you so much, IDYM Foundation. And thank you so much. And we are celebrating World Environmental Day next week. So I hope more to happen in IDYM. I'm looking forward for it. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much. And of course, like you see that you're an English teacher at the elementary level, but the kind of initiatives you have been taking with your students, that really hats off to all your initiatives, and you always come up with a project. Any kind of conference that we have, every time you have a lot to share, and you're really doing a very good, that's an amazing task that you have been doing with your students. You are actually making them aware, you're trying to have overall development of the students. So that's really good. Thank you for joining. And of course, as you were talking about the conference on the World Environment Day, of course, we'll be waiting till you have one more excellent presentation from your side. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Truly appreciate.
And with this, I would like to invite another speaker, Melissa ma'am from Italy. Melissa ma'am?
Good morning.
Yes. Okay, ma'am. Please take
Good
over.
evening, good afternoon. Hello. Let's begin. Environmentally friendly growth is the only form of sustainable future for Europe and for the entire world. Industry and environment must go hand in hand because in the long term, the interests of those who work in these two fields are themselves. So said European Commissioner for the Environment, Janez Potočnik. Given that waste production is set to increase globally, the latest World Bank report predicts that by 2025, the cost of waste bills will be $375 billion, and that current global waste production will amount to 1.3 billion of tons, will reach 2.2 billion tons per year. Municipal waste disposal, which now costs communities about 200 billion, could therefore double. The European roadmap indicates that an efficient use of resources is essential. In total, each European consumes almost 16 tons of raw materials each, of which most are converted into goods, and the rest become solid waste or polluting emissions. This is 5 tons of solid waste per capita, including hazardous waste, because we ask the world of production and distribution to voluntarily adhere to the following requests aimed at the prevention of packaging waste and incentive of reuse with respect to responsible consumption. In the need to find a solution to what is integrated in the permits, the promoters of this appeal to all packaging user companies and the world of distribution a series of feasible proposals which can give short-term results. 10 actions for the packaging using industry and the larger organized distribution to be put into practice without delay and promoted with appropriate communication. What are? First of all, replace all non-recyclable packaging, which prevents efficient recycling of or compromises the quality of the recycling with the recyclable packaging, moving towards the use of monomaterials or packaging made of several materials, easily separable from each other, and for which there is a supply chain or recycling. Furthermore, in the use of theoretically recyclable or compostable materials, such as, for example, polylactic acid, it must be verified whether the collection of chain currently existing on the national territory is able to manage the material without malfunctions, and whether whether it can be actually composted or recycled by mechanical or chemical methods. The same precautions are applicable in the world of large-scale retail trade for the packaging of own brand products and in the packaging of food products that take place in point of sale. Second, reducing the weight of a packaging by limiting double packaging and unnecessary packaging accessory components and placing hyper-concentrated or solid-state products on the market. Among the double packaging or secondary packaging that you can do without are the cardboard packs that contain toothpaste or other bottle cleansing products, and wrappers used to wrap the 2 packs of ground coffee used by many well-known brands, replaceable with a graphic of the primary packaging that highlights the impossibility of a separate purchase of the 2 units. Some accessory components of the packaging, in addition to complicating disposal and recycling when they cannot be separated, constitute inevitable waste, such as, for example, caps and bands to close the packages, but also the handles of the bottles. You can safely go back to doing without the screw or tab caps applied to Tetra Pak containers, especially when accelerated and difficult to separate. There are reusable solutions on the market that can perform the same functions guaranteed by the accessory parts, such as clips and pegs to close the packages instead of the bands. Third, replace or eliminating packaging of those components that prevent or complicate recycling, such as sleeves, labels, and the use of additives, dyes, and external compounds. Sleeve labels that cover the entire container create enormous problems when they are made of a different plastic material than the container they cover. For technical and economic reasons, they are chosen in PVC in many cases and applied to PET containers. This practice compromises recycling from the very first sorting stages. Due to the perceived sleeves and the PET containers is not recognized by the optical readers of the automatic sorting systems and is discarded, ending up in the landfills or incinerators, also considering the economic unsustainability of the manual selection and removal of the label. Fourth, optimize the use of materials and containers designed for efficient recycling. A well-known brand has launched a new basic package without a handle and impact for one of its detergents, communicating the reasons of the choice. A reduction of indigeneity of plastics with the use of more valuable polymers for recycling purposes has recently been pursued by leading companies in the large-scale distribution in Canada, where containers and the formed trays in PET instead of PVC will be used for in-house packaging. Fifth, promote the use of returnable containers, even in unbreakable plastic. Sixth, use recycled material where possible to make the packaging instead of virgin material. Seventh, adopt a packaging marking labeling system that can clearly and transparently communicate to the consumer the degree or recyclability of the packaging itself. On the basis of this degree or recyclability, the level of environmental contribution that this packaging must pay to the collection system could be established. 8. Large-scale distribution points of sale. Encourage the creation of specific short supply chain circuits for collection, recycling, and reproduction, even with the deposit systems and occurs. For example, in many Central European large-scale distribution chains. And in large-scale distribution points of sale, eliminate excessive packaging and reduce the consumption of disposable bags for fruit and vegetables. With regard to some food products packaged on site, it is possible to reduce the packaging to film only by eliminating the polystyrene trays. In the fruit and vegetable sector, the consumption of disposal bags can be reduced by providing customers with a reusable solution, such as the cotton or polyester nets proposed by the Porta alla Sporta campaign with the Put It In on the Net initiative. And last but not least, in large-scale distribution points of sale, encourage a change of habits that pushes consumers consumer citizens to reuse containers brought from home and to adopt products with the interchangeable parts suitable for multiple use as the only possible and effective strategy to reduce consumption disposal. As regards the products that can be purchased in bulk with reusable containers in the detergents and detergents sector, for home and person, it has been noted that by shops specializing in bulk products that the wider the assortment available to customers, the greater the sale can guide consumer choices for disposable versions to versions suitable for multiple use by making the latter available and enhancing them. Starting from an object used daily, such as the toothbrush. It should be noted that the offer of models with interchangeable heads is almost non-existent or not very visible. Some companies have in their assortment a model of toothbrush with interchangeable heads of their own brand. All the toothbrush models present in the assortment of the Shields or the medium large scale retail brands are disposable toothbrushes with mostly come from China, except for a single model which is not, however, widespread in the points of sale. My speech is ended. I thank you all for listening to me and for the great opportunity you gave me to be a speaker in this important event. Thank you again.
Thank you once again. It was really a great presentation, a great talk, I can say, and the way, the kind of methods you have brought up through your presentation and your speech. It was really great listening to you, and you always come up with so great talks. Thank you very much for joining with us and sharing your opinions on this World Waste Prevent Summit. And now I take this opportunity to call upon another one more speaker from Nepal, Ambassador Safal. Ambassador Safal, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, thank you so much, IDYM India TV, for giving me this opportunity. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ambassador Safal Dungana from Nepal. It's my honor and privilege to be the part of the World Waste to Wealth Summit 2023. Nepal is striving to convert the trash collected from Mount Everest into treasure with the aim to create value out of the solid waste collected from the Mount Everest. The items were segregated, processed, and recycled as raw materials for various products. In a bid to save Mount Everest from trash, Nepal conducted a month-long cleaning campaign by collecting 10,000 kg of rubbish from the region. The historical mega clean-up campaign, coordinated by government and non-government agencies, by mobilizing a dedicated Sherpa team from the base camp to 4 higher camps, not only collected waste, but also removed 4 dead bodies from the roof of the world. Instead of sending solid waste to dump in the landfill site near Kathmandu, the items were segregated, processed, and recycled as raw materials for various products. We segregated the collected materials in different categories like plastic, glass, iron, aluminum, and textile. Among 10 tons of waste received, 2 tons have been recycled, while the remaining 8 were soil mixed with wrappers and semi-burned items, which could not be recycled. More than 50 people have been involved in Kathmandu-based Blue Waste to Value since 2017, which is a social enterprise dedicated to creating value from waste. Besides recycling the waste of the mountain, Mr. Maharjan team is also working with municipalities, hospitals, hotels, and different offices to maximize value from waste by recycling, reducing the amount of waste sent to landfills, and by creating green jobs. To make the event cleanup campaign more effective, the company suggested authorities to set up an initial processing unit in the mountain area itself, so that waste can be segregated immediately and easily managed. Though the company does not recycle the materials itself, it collaborates with another firm called Moware Designs to create cycle glass bottles products and to sell them online. Basically, these waste products have no value in the market. So we are trying to add value and trying to reduce the waste from landfill. The products are environmental friendly and full of art. So beside the government collects garbage deposits from the climbers with a provision of refund after they bring back at least 8 kg of garbage. High altitude guides claim that piles of trash are still found in the mountain with an adverse impact on health and the environment. The Nepal Mountaineering Association said the government should come up with a new policy to have a separate fund which can be used to continue the cleanliness campaign to make the mountaineering industry sustainable. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Ambassador Sapal. That was really a great talk. And yes, of course, you were talking that reducing waste from the landfills, that is really great initiative that is being taken by you and your country, because yes, when the waste is being collected, so the chemical reactions that are being happening, it is again polluting the environment. Sometimes there are also risk of fire reductions. And also, you're actually doing a great task. And like you were talking about plastics and all. So here, the place where I live, he is a doctor. Actually, that person is a doctor. But you know what he does? He collects all the plastic waste and he's converting it into benches. He will convert it into bench, and all those bench he has installed in some villages and some gardens. So yes, there are so many techniques, and it was really great listening to you. Thank you very much for joining. And now let's invite one more guest speaker, a very talented one whom I like this listening to her always, Patricia Gonde from Zimbabwe.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Unfortunately, I cannot share my PowerPoint because of electricity issues, but I'm just going to talk about waste, turning waste into wealth. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge IDYM, a group of companies, Dr. Ravi Shankar sir, for giving me this opportunity to be coming here to discuss with you about turning waste into wealth and innovations and technology towards smart waste solutions. So as you all know that waste management is a significant challenge, especially in facing all the countries, especially my continent, Africa. And it has certainly become a growing concern in recent years because of the negative impact on the environment and human health. However, we have got the right innovations and technologies that some of the former speakers have already said, which can transform waste into wealth and create a sustainable environment for generations. I would like to say that my continent, Africa, generates maybe an estimated 70 million tons of waste each year. And unfortunately, only 10% of this waste is collected and disposed of properly, leading to environmental degradation, pollution. There's so many diseases. For example, in my country right now, there's cholera. Improper waste management also contributes especially to greenhouse gas emissions, especially with food waste. And this also makes it waste for climate change. But we have so many solutions in terms of waste management. For example, what we call circular economy, which involves reducing, reusing, and recycling waste. It seems like a big term, but we have been doing it. Like Nimala said, I was also involved in the e-waste management project that was done with different organizations and schools in India. And then we are also involved in the Suchana project, where our children came first in both teams because they were able to reuse the plastic. Unfortunately, I cannot share. They made pencil cases, they made flower pots, they made weather instruments. What a way of educating our children as well, that we can make our own weather instruments. We can also be helping in terms of social responsibility, because the pencil cases that we made, we donated to a children's home that is nearby our school. And in that aspect, we won the Global Sustainability Award on social responsibility. And then when you are looking at smart waste solutions, we can include, for example, in organizations, they can include sensors, they can include cameras, especially that detect and track waste, as well as software management systems that can be done. But I just wanted to talk more about turning our trash into treasure. And some people have already talked about upcycling and using creative reuse, as one man's trash is another man's treasure. That's what some people say. We can make creative reuse of plastic. For example, in the fashion industry, we have designers, we have been making new clothing lines using discarded textiles, old t-shirts, we are looking at denim jeans, even the furniture that we are using in our homes is being made out of recycled wood. And we also make use, for example, I just brought something here that is made from recycled wood that people can also make, and we can also sell these artifacts, and then we are turning them into valuable something. That is what we call upcycling. And with upcycling, it means we are able to reduce waste and conserve resources, but we are also getting value from the things that we are making out of upcycling. Then in terms of our schools, they can incorporate upcycling, creative reuse into their curricula. For example, in art classes, they could focus on creating art from recycled materials. We have done it in our schools. We have made toys. We have made some art paintings that are at the National Art Gallery in Zimbabwe. We're using the paper that we used in science classes. The teachers could explore the environment impacts of waste, like Nemala said. We also use that composting as well. So, and schools can also partner with other organizations in terms of corporate social responsibility, and that specialize in upcycling, like what we did, the papers that we collected, the plastic that we collected for our Suchana product, what was left, we sold it to a company, and we got some money that we use to make some of the products that we used for our children. Then lastly, I would like to say, in terms of reducing food waste is one thing that we must take into account. It is a major problem in our homes, in our schools, because we always fill up our bins with food waste. As one famous chef says, food is precious, and it is our duty to use it well. This is one of the things that we can also teach out in our schools. I've gone to supermarkets here in town, I've seen some food being thrown there, but these grocery stores should be able to donate that unsold but still edible food, maybe to local food banks, maybe to other restaurants that can offer small portion sizes and encourage customers to take home leftovers. But also, as consumers ourselves, what are we doing? In our homes, we can reduce food waste, for example, by planning our meals, buying only what we need, storing food properly to extend, for example, its shelf life. And we can also get creative with leftovers, turning them into new meals, freezing them for later use. And when we don't have excess food we can't use, we can then donate, or you can use it for composting. And then for schools, I know that we have schools, they're boarding schools, they leave a lot of food. Our children, they are very petty when they're eating, they leave a lot of food. So by incorporating lessons on food waste reductions into our curricula, we can raise our awareness and inspire our next generation to be food waste warriors. In science classes as well, we can explore the signs of food spoilage, food preservation. Then we also have domestic science or home economics lessons, whereby we can teach our students how to plan a meal, how to budget, and how to reduce food waste. So reducing food waste is very important. So we should work together, businesses, schools, and reduce food waste and create a sustainable food system. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I can go on, but we still have some other esteemed speakers who still need their chances to speak.
That was really a great talk. And yes, of course, that was very inspiring too. You talked about recycling, you talked about upcycling, and how you are actually helping the students to stop food wastage, to become food wastage barriers. And that is a really great message that we can give to all the people around the world, to the coming generations, to actually stop food wastage and convert, contribute for the betterment of our society, contribute to make our world a better place and a safer place to live. So that was really, really a great thing coming up with you. Thank you for joining. And
Thank you.
I would like to call upon the next speaker, Nazabeen Reza Pradhan from Bangladesh.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much, IDYM TP and Dr. Anjum Quraish for inviting me. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you're on.
So as our today's summit is on waste to wealth, I think this is very important and vital topic for everyone, despite of age and nationality, everything. And it's directly, I think, led us to go for SDGs well-being all the way towards progressive life for all of us. So the main abstract of the theme of Waste to Wealth is to identify, develop and deploy technologies to treat waste to generate energy, recycle materials and extract worth for all of us. Zero waste sustainable management of waste is now a critical global goal. It obviously has multiple benefits, including creating green and clean space, sustainable agriculture, responsible production and consumption, poverty and hunger elevation, health and sanitation, hygiene, climate change, biodiversity, enrichment, decent work and connect economic growth, affordable and clean energy. In a way, managing and recycling reusing waste is a key that has the power to unlock achievement of the SDG by 2030. It obviously has multiple benefits, including creating green and a clean space for all of us around the world. Sustainable development will improve one step ahead if we all can aware about waste to wealth. How can waste be a wealth for all of us? Waste is wealth if managed properly. If we have that fundamental management understanding and knowledge, it is beneficial depending on how it is managed and utilized. It can be explained by following few examples. In some urban areas, like metallic containers are used by smiths to make paraffins, candles, children toys, and simple cans, etc., which waste can be converted into wealth commonly waste as a commodity. This could also underline the significant role of recycling and its contribution in wealth creation from waste. Paper, plastic, organic fractions, wood, textiles, and rubber, etc., present significant calorific values. Thus, it can be converted to fuel for power production. Let us look inwards for some time. What constitutes waste? Or who generates waste? Why has waste become such a global challenge for the planet and for the mankind? Waste is a vital part of everyday human existence. Waste can be produced from different sources. The major sources of waste are industries and households. The quantity of junk and garbage that is thrown out of the houses all across the world is huge. Year after year, it has added up to millions of tons of waste materials that find their way into the landfills. Every industry contributes to environmental waste that gets added to the soils and landfills on the planet. Everybody and everyday human activities are also a major source of waste on our planet by our regular uses and activities. Waste generation includes all materials discarded, whether or not they are later recycled or disposed in a landfill properly. Waste generation in most cases represents inefficient use of materials, tracking trends in the quantity, composition and effects of these materials provides insight into the efficiency with which the nation uses and reuses materials and resources and provides a means to better understand the effects of waste on human life, health, and ecological condition of the planet. Three types of waste that I would like to address here: solid waste, liquid waste, gas waste, and biodegradable waste. So I will speak on that a little bit. Waste that consists of organic matter is referred to as a biodegradable waste. So I think we can convert so many plastic uses. Instead of, we can go for paper, and we can produce that avocado seeds from that temporary use of glass plate and all that we all need outside of the home for regular use, and that could be easily biodegradable when we'll dump them, and ultimately it will work as a soil fertilizer in the end. Food and paper are perfect examples. Organic matter is broken down or decomposed into gases, methane, carbon dioxide, and liquid water, others by microorganisms. Major sources of biodegradable waste are households, and already other panelists address this, so I will talk on this very precisely. Some types of commercial establishments such as restaurants, hotels, food, home processing units. Some biodegradable can also come from industries, animals farms, and agriculture farms. So if we provide a systematic process to collect and dumping for this wastage, we can convert into our wealth in a great number. And non-biodegradable waste cannot be further decomposed via the action of the microorganisms. Such waste is the major source of toxins in the landfills. Chemicals, metals, plastic, paints, rubber are examples of non-biodegradable waste mostly. These materials can remain in landfills for thousands of years without any damage. Toxins from metals and plastics get soaked into the earth and pollute the soil mostly in a very bad way, and the water sources. So these are the main area that we all should take it in our concern to avoid those non-biodegradable waste, and how we can collect them properly after we done using, and not to dump into the soil and water. That basically block the ecosystem and the recycling of planet's health. Management of waste, the 7 ways of managing our waste to focus on and to convert into our wealth. Under the lean manufacturing system, 7 waste are identified: overproduction, inventory, motion, defects, overprocessing, weighing, and transport. Once generated, waste must be managed through reuse, recycling, storage, treatment, energy recovery, and or disposal or other releases to the environment. Most systems, solid waste and hazardous waste, are managed in land disposal units. For these, and industrial waste and disposal includes landfill surface impoundments, land treatment, and land farming and underground injection. The waste to wealth mission should be the prime scientific, technological, and innovative movement from the government and the private sector. I personally believe that and think that the mission will aims to identify, develop, and deploy technologies to treat waste, to generate energy, recycle materials, and extract resources of value. The mission will also work to identify and support the development of modern technologies that promise to create a clean and green environment for us. The mission will assist and augment the Swachh, for example, the Swachh Bharat campaign all over the world is very known. So that's sort of campaign we need about this waste to wealth, because everyone knows it. So once people know it, I think it will be much more easier to act on it and make it easier for people and reaching most people to work on it personally. And last, I'm almost done. And here I have few points to address to identify and support the development of modern technologies that can help create a cleaner and greener environment, to create ready that are financially visible for waste management, to streamline waste handling in worldwide. Appreciate and learn from cleaning and restoring water bodies is also one of the important aspects for this waste to wealth challenge on the main initiatives under this mission. Where and another power of, I think, partnership, collaboration, that could be another successful way to achieve this goal. Interchange of sustainable tech-driven solution, action by all, including self, home, family, community, region, zone, office, workplace, schools, institutions, malls, hotels, hospitals, forests, factories, lab, among others, is needed to wage and win this war with waste in order to convert them into our wealth. We all should understand the importance of this can be reduced, and we all can achieve that out of all these movements. And 3 R's that I would like to emphasize on: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Are gonna help us to cut down on the amount of waste we throw away, and the natural resource. If we adapt this in our daily life, a small way, in a single step, from the mass level we should start, and from all of us. So gradually I see we have a great future ahead through this journey to convert our wealth out of this wastage. Thank you very much. And I would like to thank Dr. Anjum Qureshi and that IDYM TV for having me and organizing such amazing summit and bringing that awareness across the globe. And all the fellow panelists, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was a lovely talk now. And as you started, if we learn to convert waste into wealth properly, so that is where we should be starting with it. Only then we'll be able to manage the waste. And that is actually one of the objectives where we of arranging this conference, that we are trying to learn what is going on in all different parts of the world and how we are trying to convert this waste into wealth. And that was really, as said by you, about the awareness. We need to change our habit. That was really a great talk. And with this, I would like to welcome our next speaker. Our next speaker from Georgia, Maya Jakoshvili. And I also hand over the session to my co-host, Anita Polna.
Greetings from Georgia. I am Maya Jakoshvili, a teacher, tutor, international speaker, and the author of several articles and research. Today, I am before you to discuss a pressing issue that affects us all: waste management. The improper handling of waste has severe consequences for our environment and society. However, amid this challenge, there is hope, and that hope lies in innovations and technology for smart waste solutions. In recent years, advancements in technology have revolutionized various aspects of our lives. From communication to transportation, we have witnessed significant progress. Each time we harness this potential for the betterment of our waste management systems. Smart waste solutions refer to the integration of technology and innovation into waste management processes. These solutions aim to optimize waste collection, sorting, recycling, and disposal. By leveraging the power of data, connectivity, and automation, we can create a more efficient, sustainable, and environmentally friendly waste management system. One crucial aspect of smart waste solution is smart bins. These intelligent containers are equipped with sensors that can monitor their fill levels in real time. By doing so, waste collection companies can optimize their routes, ensuring timely pickups and minimizing unnecessary trips. This not only saves costs, but also reduces the carbon footprint associated with waste collection vehicles. Moreover, smart bins can notify waste management authorities when they are nearing capacity, preventing overflow and unsightly littering. This proactive approach ensures that waste is contained properly, maintaining the cleanliness and hygiene of our surroundings. Another significant area of innovation lies in waste sorting technologies. Traditional waste sorting processes are labor-intensive and often prone to human error. However, with the advent of artificial intelligence and machine learning, we can automate waste sorting. Advanced imaging systems and algorithms can identify and separate different types of waste accurately. This streamlines the recycling process, making it more efficient and economically viable. Furthermore, smart waste solutions extend beyond collection and sorting. Waste-to-energy technologies have emerged as a promising alternative to traditional waste disposal methods. These technologies convert waste into usable forms of energy, such as electricity or biofuel. By harnessing the potential of waste, we not only reduce the burden of landfills, but also contribute to a more sustainable and renewable energy ecosystem. Additionally, data analytics plays a vital role in optimizing waste management practices. By collecting and analyzing data on waste generation patterns, authorities can identify areas with high waste production and devise targeted solutions. This data-driven approach enables us to allocate resources effectively, implement recycling initiatives, and raise awareness among communities. Furthermore, innovation in waste tracking systems help us monitor the journey of waste from its source to the final destination. Blockchain technology, for instance, ensures transparency and traceability in waste management, reducing the chances of illegal dumping and promoting responsible waste disposal practices. In conclusion, the challenges posed by waste management require innovative and technological solutions. By embracing smart waste solutions, we can revolutionize our current systems and pave the way for a cleaner, greener future. These innovations offer numerous benefits, including optimized waste collection, efficient sorting, waste-to-energy conversion, and data-driven decision-making. It's our collective responsibility to support and invest in these advancements, ensuring a sustainable and healthier environment for generations to come. Thank you for your attention to all the speakers and listeners. It is a great honor for me to be here with you. Thank you for the invitation once again.
Thank you so much, Maya. It was really lovely. And initiatives related to the technology, with the technology, and to just control the waste is really amazing. We have to think into this particular way also to control the waste. It was really very nice. Thank you so much for being here. I would like to call the next friend from the Indonesia. Hadinia, may I have you for the next speaker?
Okay, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Just speak.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. So first of all, thank you so much for Anita Ma'am for the introduction, and also IDOM, as always, for organizing this summit. So the previous speakers already mentioned all about the strategies, how they implement even with the students in the classroom and in daily life. So yeah, we know that today our topic is really to encourage and embrace the innovative technology for smart waste solution towards achieving a net zero in the future. So we know the challenges we face in waste management are really significant, right? So, but through the power of innovation and technology, we can really turn these challenges become something else, like turn it into opportunities and create a world where waste is no longer a burden. We know it's really a big thing and we have to work it together, but it can be really such a valuable resource. So across the world, like waste generation has reached unprecedented levels, threatening our environment, health, and even well-being as well. So landfills are overflowing and our oceans are polluted with the plastic waste. We know that maybe almost every day we can hear it in the news in every country. So it's really something that we need to take a change, right? So I think we also have to amidst these challenges, for example, like in the innovation and also technology toward a sustainable waste management. So I think I'm going to share some examples from around the world. For example, in Singapore, I know it's not my own country, but I think it's really good that people know about their implementation toward waste management. I think people know how Singapore try to really limit the waste and also make a more meaningful toward the waste itself. So the landfill, it's really not just a dumping around, but it's a true marvel waste engineering. So in the Singapore, there is feature that impermeable membrane that prevents leachate from contaminating that surrounding environment, and also methane gas produced by the waste, it's captured and also convert into electricity, providing renewable energy to power nearby facilities. I think some of countries have implemented, but I choose Singapore as example in here because yeah, they really manage it in the well manner. And Singapore's transformed a traditional landfill into a sustainable solution that moves them closer to their goal of becoming a zero waste nation. I know that for some countries which really have a bigger landfill, it will be so difficult, but we can also take an example moving to Sweden. Like we find another shining example of how technology can revolutionize waste management, because yes, Sweden has become a global leader in waste to energy conversion. They have developed state-of-the-art incineration plants that not only burn the waste, but also produce energy in the process. So by maximizing the energy potential of waste, Sweden has reduced its reliance in fossil fuels and made significant progress towards achieving a net zero carbon footprint. I know it's real difficult to achieve, but we can take this example that really demonstrate no matter the size or location, actually innovation, technology can make a significant impact on waste management. And the success stories are not limited just a few countries. Like we know maybe there are so many other achievements from other countries as well. So they really serve as inspiration for the entire world to follow the suit. But it doesn't end there. The power of innovation and technology extends far really beyond the traditional waste management method. For example, like it encompasses the development of smart solutions that optimize waste collection, recycling, and also resource recovery. Like for instance, some companies like Rubicon Global and Big Belly, they have pioneered the use of smart waste bins equipped with the sensors that monitor fuel levels in real time. So this data really drive on the system to optimize the collection routes, the reduce emission from unnecessary collection trips, and also improve overall operation efficiency. So the smart waste solutions are being deployed in cities around the globe, like transforming the way we manage waste on a day-to-day basis. So, however, to truly harness the potential of innovative technology for smart waste solution, we need a collective effort. I mean, like if we are doing it by ourselves or alone, it's really not possible to achieve the net zero carbon footprint, right? So the government in this case also must create supportive policies and invest in research and development to drive innovation in waste management. And businesses like the Big Belly and Rubicon can really collaborate with technology providers to adopt and implement the solution at any scales. And as individuals, we can also be proactive in our waste management practices, like embracing recycling, reducing waste, and also actively participating in community initiatives like what we are doing right now with IDYM is really great because we are sharing like from different countries. Like we have more than 21 countries, I guess, today. And then we share our own experience, like the previous speakers share like how they implement in the school and also in daily basis. It's really amazing. Like we can get another extra insight for what we have to do in order to make a significant impact to manage the waste management. So I urge each and every one of you to embrace the power of innovation and technology in waste management, because yeah, let us be inspired by the success story from around the world, like from our colleagues, from the other countries, from everyone. Like just because we are maybe doing it alone, it doesn't mean we cannot make an impact. It doesn't mean that we cannot make a difference compared to what we have done back 2 years ago. So I think together we can create a sustainable future where waste is transformed into opportunity, and our action today are going to shape a better tomorrow for a generation to come. So I think that's it for today, because yeah, the previous speakers already mentioned like how to strategize the waste management, and I'm not going to make it any longer. So thank you so much for listening, and let us embark on this journey toward a net zero waste world with determination, innovation, and collaboration. Thank you so much. I'm giving back to Anita Ma'am.
Thank you so much. It was very nice. And it is very true, Adina, that we have to take some waste, zero waste management from every country. Like we have to make some particular, we have to just take a particular oath. Every country is going to do that. Then definitely we are going to just take control of all the waste management and all that. It is absolutely right. Thank you so much for being here. Now, next is a friend from the Brazil. So I would like to call Wimla Barbosa, right? Barbosa. Yeah, you're most welcome, ma'am. And thanks so much for being there. Over to you, ma'am. Are you on mute, ma'am? Can you just unmute yourself? No, you are not audible. No, still not audible, ma'am. You are not audible. Just speak something. Is anyone able to listen her? No, no, no. We are not able to listen you.
No, she's not audible, ma'am.
Yeah. That's why I'm just checking with all of you. So
yeah. No, Vilma ma'am, can you just rejoin them? We can restart.
Yeah, Barbosa ma'am, can you join again? Leave and join again. Okay. Till then, we are going to just move ahead. We can call Dr. Imam. Ma'am, are you there?
Hello.
Yes. Are you there, ma'am?
Yes, I'm here. Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be with you at IDYM Foundation. Thanks, Anita Ma'am, for calling me. Thanks, Anjum Ma'am, for hosting and moderating the day. Thanks, Ravi Sir, for inviting me. This is Ambassador Dr. Iman Ealem from Egypt. I am lecturer at the Faculty of Science, Al-Azhar University of Cairo of Egypt. I'm so sorry because today I'm sick, so I can't open my camera, but I hope to participate because the topic is very related to my specialization. Today we are talking about how to convert the waste to be wealth. As a biotechnologist, here in Egypt, we are doing something related to botanical waste. According to my published research, I have a work related to how to handle the issue of botanical wastes. From botanical wastes, we try to produce some nematicidal agents and also some other medicinal products like from Medisystigma, which is the hairs of Zea mays. We produced some antioxidant agents. This is white biotechnology via using extracts of hairs of Zea mays. I tried to produce some antioxidant agents. Also, from some botanical wastes, we tried to produce some natural biological control agents like some pesticides, nematicides. I tried to use some botanical wastes. I have a published paper on some botanical wastes to produce some nematicidal agents. These wastes are include eggplants peels, banana peels, tomato peels. In this paper, I can share it in the group after my lecture. In this paper, I tried to use more than 45 botanical wastes from different plants. I tried to use peels of different plants. To your knowledge, and I know that you know this issue, that botanical wastes are not wastes unless putting them in trashes. They are part of plants, maybe important parts, maybe not edible, but very important, including many active ingredients and a huge amount of secondary metabolites. Most of them are very important. Some of them can be used medicinally and others can be used to solve some problems, like the issue of producing nematicides. Results are more than excellent. This paper was done in collaboration with my colleague. He tried to test these extracts against some dangerous nematodes, and results are amazing. Also, we used some botanical wastes to produce natural pesticides against some diseases. To conclude, natural products can be produced from the plant and also from some wastes related to the plants, like peels of some fruits. These parts of plants are not edible, but we can use them in producing many important products. This is what is called biotechnology, and also green biotechnology. Thank you very much. I reached to the final, and let's repeat. And thank you very much. I need to repeat my thanks to my lovely sister Anita ma'am and my lovely sister Anjum ma'am, and greetings from Egypt to all of you. Thanks for IDYM Foundation and IDYM founder, and thanks for all of you for listening. Thank you very much.
So much, Iman ma'am. Thank you so much. And it's really very well that we are learning all the things that we can just control the waste and how we can use that particular waste in different technologies and different fields. That is really amazing. We are learning from everyone who is present here. So now I think Velima Barbosa, you're ready?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, 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 absolutely. We are hearing you. Yep.
Great.
Now,
Thank you. Thank you so
welcome.
much for having me here. It's a great, great pleasure being here again into this family that I love so much. I'd like to share my screen and talk a little bit about this very, very important topic, innovation technology for smart waste solutions towards net zero. So today we have been talking a lot about using the technology, the ways we could use these tools to make our students and our community aware on protecting the environment. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but I want to talk what my community is doing. And I like to say that it's really important that we teach our kids and community to use the technology and search on how we can do that. But we have to make them aware of small activities that we can do in our communities. So last year we had this activity in my town, and it is we're gonna have that again on June 30, the Ação RB Verde, the way we call here, and then we're gonna have all the institutions and companies collaborating on saving the environment here in my town and community to show what they are doing to protect the environment. As it is due to June 30, I'm going to show what we were talking about last year, but it is done all around the year. So what we do to protect our environment, to reduce waste, and to save the planet. We have some campaigns to plant trees. It was showed last year, but we do that all the year long. So we give people the small trees and we encourage them to plant these small trees, and then we're gonna have lots of trees and we'll be protecting the environment. So many projects related to saving water, related to throwing the trash in the right place. Here. So lots of speakers today talked about that, rubbish composting, and it's really, really important. In our community, we have our university, and then we teach the students at the university and also the community on how to do that. Because lots of people used to put all the trash together, the ones that can be used for planting and plastic, they used to put everything together, and then we prepare campaigns to help people think about that and teach them how to separate the trash. And we have many campaigns to collect the oil from kitchen in order they don't go to the environment. So this is Leo Club. I know this is an organization worldwide, and then we have here in our city as well, and they are doing this. We are collecting the medicine, the ones that we don't use anymore. Then we have a campaign to collect them in order we don't throw them into the environment. And then we have lots of folders to teach the kids and adults as well how to separate and the importance of separating the trash. Here we have a company that drives around the city collecting the recycled materials, and then they prepare campaigns to teach the community to separate that. And we show that on the television, on the radio, and teach about the importance of separating the trash. We have a company in our town that brings the water from the river to our tap. The water we drink here in my town is from the river, but there is a process to separate that. And then we talk with the community about the importance of not throwing trash into the river, because the water we drink is from the river. And then there is this process the company does to make the water clean, but we have to make the community aware that they don't, in order they don't throw trash into the river, because the process would be much more difficult to turn the water into clean in order we can drink that. So there are many organizations working on protecting the environment, and next June 30, we're gonna have everything together again, talking more about that and showing the new projects that we are doing with our community about protecting the environment, not burning the environment. Because here in my community, I don't know about there in India, Mexico, Egypt, if you have this custom, but here in Brazil, the ones that are planting, they are used to burn the area before planting. And this is an ancient custom we have, but then we aware them that not to do that, because this way they can start fires and they will be killing animals and lots of different kinds of plants and organisms. And then we are teaching them different ways to prepare the land to be to grow food in order they don't need to burn as they used to do in the past. So lots of campaigns, and this is pretty important. And what we are talking today about using the technology, and because today we are using the technology more and more and more, so people have been buying more and more technology items. And what about the old ones? So we have a campaign here in our community to collect these old devices in order they don't go through the environment. So there is a company that collect all these, and then they reuse parts that is possible, and the ones that it's not possible reusing, then they bring it to a special place in order we don't see all this material into the environment. So it's pretty important that we talk with the community, that we make them aware that throwing it in the environment is pretty dangerous, and then we'll be finishing the environment, and our next generations want to have the environment as we have today. And also separating the trash. We have a campaign here in my town collecting the bottle caps from the plastic bottle caps, and then there is an organization that collects and sell these, and all the money collected they donate to an NGO that protects the animals. So the animals that are on the street, this NGO bring them to a special place, but they need money for the food, for the medicine, and this campaign from collecting the bottle caps is helping this NGO. And then here another campaign that we had teaching our kids how to use recycled materials to make toys, because we know that kids today are using the technology a lot, and it's good, but it's also good that they know how to use recycled materials to make their own toys and enjoy their time with family and friends. And we also have projects in our school, and this was a campaign. The company that works with the recycled material came to our school to teach our kids, in order they teach their family how to separate the trash. And then here they are watching the lecture, and here they had an activity where they were supposed to say those materials that they were grabbing, if they were recycled, and where to separate them. So this way they will be teaching their families at home how to do that. Here, the kids and the adults are doing that. And we have been taking part in many campaigns using the technology, collaborating and connecting with kids and students all around the world to protect the environment, to save water, to save the environment, how to separate the trash. And they have been part of international campaigns talking about the environment, talking what are the activities that we have been doing in our community and here in Brazil to save the environment. And this activity we've done some days ago, and then they were walking the community and paying attention to the environment. Here they were paying attention to the environment and the importance of not throwing trash in the environment. And even if we are in downtown, there are some nature around, and then we were trying to make them aware of that, the importance of organizing the trash and not throwing the trash can. And what about you? What have you been doing in your community to save the environment? Are you just talking about that? Or are you really doing something with your students and community to make the difference? So thank you so much for your time. That's all from my side. Thank you. And this is my daughter trying to say hello. Thank you for your time.
Just show her face, Wilma. We can see her also. We can say hello to her also. Hi.
Just a second.
Hi.
Hi.
So you're with Mama, huh? You're listening with Mama. How to just make sure that you're not wasting anything, right? Good, good girl, good girl.
Hello.
So proud
Thank
of
you
you.
so much for your time. Thank
It was
you.
really amazing, Wilma. It was really amazing the initiatives you're taking in your community and all these things. It's really amazing. I like the part that you told that the students are there and they call their parents and grandparents to segregate and all that is really amazing. Like you make the students to make that and they teach the parents and the grandparents to do that particular segregation and how to recycle them and all that is amazing, really. We all need to take the initiatives because we all need to save our planet. We all need to save our country. That's very important. So here, these types of the seminars and these type of the
Thank you
presentations,
so much.
here we want to learn from each other how to save our planet, how to save our country. So that's really amazing. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much. So our next friend is from the Mexico. May I have the Elizabeth ma'am, the next?
Hi, good evening. How are you?
Fine, fine. Thank you, ma'am. How are you?
Fine.
Your voice is lagging, ma'am. Elizabeth, ma'am, your voice is lagging. Not able to hear you.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, now you are audible. Yes.
Perfect.
Mic is-
I listening to our friends. All is very interesting. I like so much because I am learning a lot in this country, in all this conference. And you do a lot of things that in Mexico and in Latin America, we don't do yet. But I am sharing with my friends. You'll be sure of this. And well, I will share a couple to PPT. Can I share?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Thank you. Okay. Now, can you see my screen? Okay, perfect. I think now it's okay. We are talking, and this is very interesting about how the World Waste and the World Summit. And as I told you, I am learning a lot. I think that now here in India, I found a lot of new things for me as Mexican, as Latin American. Congratulations for this, is great. And now listening to another friends, to another countries, it's very interesting and very important what are they doing. And we are starting yet, for example, in Mexico, we are starting for don't use the plastic. In any supermarket, we can to have some plastic bag. We need to use the bag. But you have a lot of things more here. But I think that there are some very important points in all this for that we can work and continue to do it so big and so important. It's that we have to teach all this in home with our family, with our kids, as parents, as children, because I know, unfortunately, I know some countries, some cities that this is not happening. You can walk on the street, you can walk at any place, and you can find a lot of kinds of trash. Yeah, and this is not good. And then you start to think, why is happening this? I was talking with the people in the city, and I asked them, why this happened? And somebody told me, because I need go fast, because I have not, and where can I put my trash? Because I am angry with the government, and it's a way for say to the government, I am not happy with you. And I say, no, this is not the correct way, because this is bad for us. Yeah, and more if you are one tourist place, if you have a lot of people, if you have your family, your kids, what you will do? Yeah, but in some places they think that this is a good way. And then my idea here is precisely this: we need to start to change the mind. Yeah, obviously, I can see a lot of very, very important people that it's working in the correct way. But I think that we have to talk again and again and again in our family every day. We can, as parents, we can give the example for our kids, for our children. Yeah, you have to put the trash here. You have to separate this. You have to be careful with the plants, with the tree, with the water. Yeah, if you find something, somebody is put the trash on the street, talk with them, give a bag when they can put the trash. A lot of things that we can do every day. The same in home, the same in the school, the same in the society in general. Yes, if somebody told me, okay, but it's only a paper. I take it. I take it. It's only a paper that I put in the street, in the trash. No, this is not true, because I think that that is only one, but we are 10 millions, 20 millions to persons that think the same. Then it's not only one paper. We are talking about 20 millions of papers. Yeah. Then, but if we to our family or kids, in fact, maybe or has, because as we are some different families, maybe another family have another kind of mind for how to try the trash. Yes, then we have to work together and we have to do it. And one day and every day, we can keep this clean and we can to have exit. Finally, we can to do something very well. But yes, how can we do it? This is the most important, I think, that we have to do every day. Yes. How can we do it? Every day we have to work with the values as parents, as teachers, as friends, as family, as anyway. If we think in this every day, this will be very, very good, not only for keep the nature, where can be good for the classroom, for the relationship, for all the things that we can do. But this is only starting with the values. I'm not know, because I am talking with some friends in different countries, but unfortunately in a lot of countries the values are not so used as in 20 or 30 years ago. The new generation change, and we as parents permit all this change to the kids. Yeah, this is happening. Then we need to think, we need to talk, we need to take again all these values and start. And when we start this very good, when we have very solid this value, this we can teach all this very good for us, for all the people, then we can start to take a successful in this. Yeah, because if we don't have the values, what happens if we have not perseverance in the say every day? Son, please remember you have to keep your trash until you come back to home. Please take the trash in the box and when they can to do it. Yeah, if we have this, if we can keep nets, we have pollinate, etc., then we can really start to work all that we are working. I am sure that all the projects that all our friends before was talking about, all these projects and then very successful have this great project because they are using the values with the students and sure that they have the help to the parents. Then we have to do this. We have to help to the teachers, and the teachers needs to help to the parents, and the kids and the students need listen and remember and practice every day all the values for finally we can to have all the best for us, for them, for the city, for the country, and for the society and for the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth ma'am. It was really very true that we have to start any company, we have to start it from the home. We have to teach our kids, we have to make them understand, and we have to tell them again and again and again and again. So it can be achieved only by this way, not only from the home, as we don't have to give up on this particular mission and all that. And really like the way that you make to understand your own kid first, that what is the thing that you are doing. It can be done by all other persons also. So it's really amazing, ma'am, the way you're explaining it, how we can do it for the same. Thank you so much for being with us today. So next we have Dr. Revati Rasu,
Yes.
ma'am. Dr. Revati, ma'am.
Yes,
Can we
ma'am.
have?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for being patient so long. Really.
Elizabeth,
Yes.
ma'am, please just stop sharing the screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Screen,
yeah.
screen sharing and just stop it.
Elizabeth, ma'am, na? Anju, ma'am. Elizabeth, ma'am, can you stop sharing your screen?
I have done it now, ma'am.
yes, sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You
Yes,
can
Dr.
continue.
Rashmi. Yes,
Done.
Dr.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Thank you for inviting. Thank you so much, Anita Kulma, Dr. P.K. Rajput, sir, ITY, Ravi Shankar Kumar, sir, for inviting in this prestigious event. Really, it's a great honor for me to express my views on the waste to wealth. The idea of waste to wealth focuses on converting garbage into useful resources or goods, which has positive effect on the economy and the environment. So it involves reusing, recycling, or recreating waste rather than simply throwing it away. So which reduces waste production and creates new revenue streams. Numerous projects have been launched to address the threat, but one in particular, wastage to riches, and reducing the hazardous consequences of such garbage on the environment and health is the goal of waste management. Here in India also, municipal solid waste, which is produced by the commercial, industrial, and the democratic activity, and that makes up a significant portion of garbage management. And there are some programs also, a program called the Swachha Sarthi Fellowship. So Waste to Wealth mission was started by the Indian government to encourage the waste management and provide the employment opportunities too through the Waste to Wealth initiative. And fellowship program seeks to promote the waste management among the youth and the local people as well as the waste industry entrepreneurship. So e-waste to wealth. So it refers to the process of turning electronic waste, that is called as the e-waste, into the useful material or goods like the computers, mobile phones, televisions, and other electronic gadgets that have been abandoned can pose a serious environmental and the health dangers if they are not properly disposed of. So these items are referred to as e-waste. So waste can be turned into the wealth in a number of ways. For example, recycling. So scraps of paper, plastic, glass, material can be turned into the new items through recycling. Composting also. So organic waste such as leftover food, grass clippings, and agriculture waste also. So these can be composed to create a nutrient-rich compost. So that can be added to the soil for using farming. Then energy recovery also. So through procedures like the anaerobic digestion, then gasification, there are several waste types, including the biomass, municipal solid waste, and wastewater also. So this can be transformed into energy. Then upcycling. Upcycling, this is the process of turning waste material into the goods with increased value. So, for instance, creating rubberized playground surfaces out of used tires, or creating ornamental objects out of the broken glass bottles. So upcycling fosters the innovation, lessen waste, and opens up business opportunities. And so garbage management and the consultancy service are in high demand as the waste minimization and the sustainability become more and more important. So this covers waste stream analysis, waste audits, waste reduction plans, and sustainable waste management methods. So there are management of the liquid waste also. So due to its difficulty in handling, liquid waste is also a significant area in the waste management. So liquid waste can be difficult to collect and remove from a location in contrast to solid waste. So liquid waste disperse and quickly contaminate other liquid sources if they come into touch with them. So additionally, so this kind of garbage seeps into groundwater and the soil, and in turn this leads to pollution of the surrounding ecosystem, including the plants and animals as well as the people. So this is my view. Thank you. Thank you, IDYO.
Thank you so much, Dr. Revati ma'am. It was so informative and so nice to listen about all the types of the waste and how we are going to convert those particular waste into the useful things. That is really amazing. And we have to actually, this is the learning session more than, I think Dr. Anjum will agree with me. There is so much of learning throughout this particular session that you are getting so many ideas and so many particular innovations and all that what we can do. The waste is like a particular problem, that's very right, that's everywhere, but how to utilize that particular waste is very important. That's a really very important thing. So our next is Irina Biba. You're next. Thank you so much, Dr. Revati ma'am. Now we will just move forward to the next speaker. We have Irina Biba. Welcome, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me today here. Very happy being again as a speaker. Thank you, Ravi, and thank you, Anita, Dr. Anjum, and all of you. Okay, in this moment, I'm going to share my material. Can you see it? Learning for sustainability.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, we are able to see.
Thank you. Slideshow. Okay. Learning for sustainability beyond recycling and polar bears. You might be looking at the title of my material thinking, but isn't recycling important? I was told that recycling is important. And aren't polar bears vulnerable due to the melting sea ice? We should raise awarenesses of these things. These statements are all true. Recycling is important. Polar bears are vulnerable. We should raise awarenesses of these things, but we should not stop there. Research and educational literature have come to the same conclusion. Awarenesses raising and experiences in nature are not enough to teach sustainability. Pupils should not just be learning about it in the environment. They should also be learning for sustainability. This means examining how the environment interacts with the social, economic, and cultural sphere as well. The whole school approach to sustainability has been around for decades, but it has gained steam lately because it meshes with this kind of holistic thinking. The United Nations and the European Commission have both stressed its potential. This material will give you a better understanding of this approach and help you to put into a practice. Paths. There are many entry paths to this approach. It doesn't have to proceed from the top down. In fact, one of the most influential examples of whole school sustainability got kick-started by a Japanese physical educational teacher who has been carried out conservation activities in local rivers, activity camps on the remote islands, and firely farming. Eventually, this and focused activities gave rise to a special subject, new relationships with the local community, a permanent section in the town's magazine, and more. Why a whole school approach? Our school has an open enrollment policy. We have taken to place in a particular focus on emphasizing sustainability, biodiversity, climate change, and this was brought about because of the students looking at the adults in the room for a change, and there are new issues arising in schools, such as eco-anxiety, eco-depression, and the whole sense of hopelessness that's described in the media around the Downsy scenario, around climate change, and so on. So we took the view that if students could learn the measures and strategies that will be necessary for responsible, good global citizenship, well, then as a school, it behaves us to look at that. So we employed a sustainability chaplain to guide us and to ensure that the ethos of our school, the culture of our school, the activity going on in our school was consistent with what good global citizenship would promote and what climate change, sustainability, and biodiversity, and what the ultimately needed our planet. It's difficult to look at the truth of reality. So there also always a tendency to back off from the difficult truths. And there's many ways in which you can make things more comfortable by reducing it to an individual action or something like that, or not doing the hard data. There's a lot of different ways in which you can do it. But I think fundamentally, the whole climate crisis and sustainability crisis just cuts against our psychology. We're not prepared for it. We're not designed as animals to deal with that. And the data is also quite abstract. Amount of CO2 per million in the atmosphere is not the same as a punch in the face. So once you have the gap between reality and yourself, there's all kinds of ways in which you can adjust your life to make things more comfortable. The crisis has not been dealt with 30 or 14 years. And if you look at syllabus which we teach, especially geography syllabus, they don't handle it properly. And we don't have any systematic view of the crisis across any national education system, I would say. And so in secondary, I think what we'll find is that we don't ever advance our students beyond what they do in primary. So that's things like recycling, plastic, that sort of low-level response or analysis and response. So how do we go beyond a surface level reading of sustainability? This is a struggle for a lot of teachers. We do not feel equipped to teach such an involved topic. And it is a struggle for national curricula due to logistical, social, and political barriers. But the complexity and the controversy are exactly the sort of qualities that can make learning stimulating for pupils. Not only that, they hone the system thinking and critical inquiry that are so vital for the 21st century. In their voting behavior and professional life, pupils will need to make decisions about complex issues that have no simple answers, and they should already develop the necessary frameworks to deal with them in their school years. I feel that in our school right now, the geography course that we take is basically the main way in which we learn about sustainability. There's where we get our education and how to better the climate and so on. And when we learn, it feels to me like we're being taught about what sustainability is, as in we learn the theory, like the circular economy is a part of it, and sustainable development is built on 3 pillars of social, economical, and environmental, and we learn about what it is. We don't really learn, I feel, about how to achieve it, or even why it's needed so much. Students manage complexity by the time they're 17 or 18, they're dealing with complexity in all of their other subjects, in physics, in chemistry, in math, subject philosophy, etc. Across the board, they're having to handle a lot of complexity, but when they do green things, it's never complex. It's always simplified, or like I said earlier, almost primary school level. So students are hungry for that. So of course, when you get older, you want to do things which are appropriate to your age level. You have to think systemically and holistically about everything, because every single piece of the jigsaw in the sustainability crisis is connected with another piece of the jigsaw. So you have social, economical, political, biological, physical, etc. It's all one very complex matrix. It has to be transdisciplinary or interdisciplinary at least, because that's when the complexity arises. If you're just looking in isolation at a fluid, or you're looking in isolation at a heat wave, it's not complex. But when you put it inside a system, it is. Based on what you've learned so far, we can try to classify these activities. In our school, we make a lot of activities. Consumption awarenesses. Pupils are taught about changes to their daily lives that can help to combat climate change, such as cycling to school, eating less meat, and recycling, and use a carbon footprint calculator to assess their own behavior. Building a vegetable garden. Pupils work in groups with designated roles like presenter and documenter to create blueprints for a school vegetable garden following a lesson on ecosystem. Equitable emission reduction. After an overview of the Paris Agreement and COP26, pupils work in groups to analyze the latest data on CO2 emission in more and less developed countries, compare them with the necessary emission reduction, and write a blog about their findings. The annual cleanup on a local beach. Pupils go to the nearest beach where they are given instruction on how to pick up a litter. Local issue analysis. Pupils read newspapers, articles, and reports on a local sustainability issue provided by the teacher. Then they write a brief from the point of view of a city government official, explaining which questions should be prioritized. Do they sound good for primary school, secondary school, both or neither? Not that some activities that would be considered greenwashing in upper secondary school are fine for primary or lower secondary school. Whole school approach to sustainability, one size does not fit all. We need to make connection. We need to make people understand that every single topic does not exist as a single topic, but it's just part of a much more complex organization. When we have to build the menus for the canteen, obviously the students will feel the necessity to discuss with the management of the canteen, with the management of the school, with the parent. And it will start a really complex but mandatory reflection about the budget, obviously about the possibility to find food in our local environment, and what we will do, the waste, do we have a policy about reduction of waste, etc. So I think really every single aspect to start a reflection is a good one. I think it has been graduated again, so things like food in the canteen or gardens, little allotment and things like that, those are things which the younger students can deal with because it's tactile. But as they grow up in school, we should be advancing them into much wider thinking, wider action, taking them to organize events, putting them into the civic space. So it should grow with the student's age. Yes, whole school, but not whole school in a sort of flat horizontal way in which everybody does not a bit of recycling, because that's not enough. Okay, because my material is a little bit long. Can I stop here? And thank you for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Irina. It was really nice. Actually, we were also into the flow only. We were listening exactly both through you. And very nice that we actually from your and I actually got key. We have to just take the initiative as per the age group. We have to just give that particular campaigning as per the age initiatives. Like we should know that when we are talking about a particular waste management, then we should know how they are going to deal it further, to whom they are going to talk. It's not like just giving them a lecture and just giving them a task and they are going to do that particular task. We should know that how they are going to do that particular task. That's very important. And I really like this particular point. And we have to keep these particular points in mind while we are assigning the initiative, but we are taking the initiatives or we are assigning the work, particular work related to the waste management and all that. Of course, we have to just make the habit of doing the vegetable gardens or the other particular past of things related to the plastic, other things, of course. But yeah, of course, we should also take into the consideration that which age level can be appropriate for that particular thing. That is very important. That's really a best learning. And thank you so much, Irina ma'am, for being
Thank you so much. Truly appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we have next with us Dr. Lijuma Easter. Are you there, ma'am? Your mic is off. Can you switch on your mic? Your mic is off, ma'am. Dr. Easter? Yes.
Okay, you can hear me now, right?
Yes. Over to you, ma'am.
I'm fine. Thank you so much, IDYM, for setting up this event today. And it's been wonderful listening to all the amazing speakers ahead of me. And I want to appreciate Dr. Andrew. I want to appreciate the moderator for a job well done so far. So we are talking about, this is Waste to Wealth Summit, and we are talking about basically waste management. Waste, as we all know, is one of the things that constitutes land pollution, one of the things that creates an unsafe environment for us. But in other words, it is now one of the raw materials, one of the things that can be recycled to produce other things that we need. Now, it's interesting for us to know that Nigeria generates 3.2 million tons of waste, solid waste products every year, and Denmark generates 1 million tons annually. So generally, we have over 2.01 billion tons of municipal waste generated every year globally. And by year 2050, it's been predicted that there will also be 3.4 billion tons of waste generated by year 2050. So you can see it keeps going on and on. And if these wastes are not properly recycled, they create a lot of issues in our environment. They create land pollution, air pollution, water pollution, and they cause climate change. Waste contributes to the gases that thickens the ozone layer, which worsens weather condition and melts the ice caps and raises sea levels, which negatively impacts natural habitats and the homes of billions of people. It also causes extreme weather conditions, disease, plant deaths, animal and marine deaths, loss of habitats, lower biodiversity, worsening infrastructure, radiation and hazardous materials, dead zones, human impacts. These are some of the things that when waste is not properly managed or recycled, some of the effects it has on the environment. Now, what are the 3 benefits of using waste cleanup companies? When we talk about waste management, what are the benefits of using the institution, the industry that is focused mainly on managing waste? One of the benefits is efficient disposal. These companies already know their ways around this. This is what they've done as professionals. So when you engage their services, they know how to efficiently dispose waste so that it will not create issues in our environment. Another thing is, one of the benefits is it saves resources. There is a level of waste that if you want to dispose on your own, it will cost you more. But when you engage the right services, you find out that you spend less. The next thing is it lessens environmental damage. I want to quickly bring this to our home. How can we reduce waste in our home? Because we didn't fall from the sky. We all have families and we all have a home. So as mothers, as parents, how do we ensure that in our homes, we don't have a lot of waste around? How do we ensure that we manage the waste in our home such that it will not create issue, we will not have littered environment? One of the things we need to do is we need to use a reusable bottle or cup for beverages. You know, a lot of times you see people doing their beverage in a plastic cup, in a disposable cup. We need to get something that is something that we can reuse over time. If you want to buy a glass, buy something that you will use over time whenever you want to take your beverages, instead of using the disposable cups, because you never can tell us, the more you drink your beverages, the more you take your beverages, the more you are accumulating more waste in your home. So if you can invest in buying a reusable cup, you'll find out that you won't have to deal with all of that. The next thing is use reusable grocery bags, and not just for groceries. You know, you can get a bag, a strong bag that you can always use whenever you're going to buy groceries, whenever you're going to shop. You can just use it instead of always buying polythene bags or nylon bags that will always tear and then create waste in your home. The next thing is purchase product that comes with less packaging, or packaging that can be recycled. Instead of buying products with a lot of packaging, too much packaging, you can just invest in products that are just neatly packaged, such that you won't have so much waste to deal with. We have some people that when they want to buy something in cartons, they will tell, after they've made their purchase, they will tell you to remove the carton. We have a lot of people that do that. They will say, remove the carton, remove all the nylons, all the things that are used in wrapping it. I just want the product like that because I know how I will manage it and it will not break. So if you have that option, is good, instead of having a whole lot of packages to deal with. The next thing you need to do is to compost fruits. In your home, you know, we cook as women. Most times women are the custodians of the home, and we take charge of the nutritional meals that we prepare in the home. So sometimes you can have vegetables, fish bones, you can have eggshells, you can have coffee grounds, you can have a whole lot of things, granite shells, all those things, you can compost them. And they will serve as manure in your farm. If you have a farm, they can serve as fertilizers, you know, to help you grow your plants, you know. So you can also avoid single-use food and drink containers or utensils. Anything that you just use once and you throw it away. If possible, avoid it so that you won't end up accumulating more waste. Invest in reusable products, things that you can use over time, several times, as much as you want. You can easily wash them and reuse. The next thing, you can also buy secondhand items and donate used goods. I know some people don't like secondhand items. Personally, there are some products I can buy secondhand, and there are some products that I dare not buy secondhand. I like being the first person to use it. But then if there are products that you know you can buy secondhand, invest in it. And also donate some of the old stuffs that you have. Also donate them, give them out, so that people, there is somebody out there that you are better than. No matter the level you think you are, there is someone out there that level you are presently is the person's prayer point, is where the person is praying to be. So those people need those things. Those things you know you are no longer using. They need it. And if you give it to them, it will be a blessing to them. So find out who you need to, give those things. If you have some of them, it could be used items, it could be handbags. A lot of us invest in pre-loved bags. Instead of the owners discarding them, some of them give it out to maybe Goodwill, and some others, sell. They resell to other people. So just find out what works for you and do it. The last one I want to talk about, because of our time, is curb your use of paper, mail, receipts, and magazines. And to be frank, as we are discussing this topic, I quickly checked my car. and find out that I have a lot of receipts. A lot of receipts that I kept, a lot of papers, that I kept. And I'm wondering, I said, oh my God, I'm speaking of waste to wealth, and I have all these papers. I have all these papers stuck in the car. So I told myself that after this summit, I'm going to burn all these papers, because they are mainly receipts. You buy something, you feel, okay, let me keep the receipt. Maybe you want to document it. If you want to document it in your file. Why leave it in your car? So you need to also take note of all these things, because you end up accumulating so much receipts that sometimes you even forget what that particular receipt is for. So these are some of the ways that we can really manage the waste in our environment and make sure that we have clean environment, an environment that is safe for not just us, but for everyone around us and the whole world at large. Thank you so much once again, IDYM, for this summit. It resonates with me, and I really, really appreciate the opportunity to share my insights.
Thank you so much, Dr. Esther. It was really wonderful listening to you. And of course, we have to save the resources, and we can save the resources by utilizing the waste. After recycling it, and we can share our things which we are not using. So we can just give it to the second hand or give to the person who really are in need of that particular resource. So that's amazing. And I like the wonderful thing about is that being too honest about your own self, that you two are having, that is really, really amazing that you yourself accepted that you too have the papers in the car. So it's right. We have to just start it from ourselves only. We have to start it, everything, whatever we are talking about. If we are taking any oath or any petition related to some issues which are worldwide issues. So we must think that we have to start from ourselves only. That's very important. And really appreciate this for you. Thank you so much for being here, Dr. Esther. It's really nice talking to you. Thank you so much. So
Thank you
we have our next speaker for the event is Dr. Ravindra Rina. Sir, over to you.
Anita ji and colleagues from different corners of the world, it's indeed a proud privilege for me to be part of this particular event, Waste to Wealth Management, and I must congratulate the IDYM team to bring this special issue. Actually, it is connecting every human being that lives on this planet. And ladies and gentlemen, there are speakers, they have been telling their own country perspective, and they're also sharing their own personal experiences pertaining to the waste. I just would like to, in the interest of time, I would like to unpack certain important issues pertaining to this waste. And first of all, we have more than 8 billion people living on this planet, and all of us could able to contribute more than 2.3 billion million metric tons of waste. Sorry, 2.3 billion metric tons of waste. This is what we are creating as human beings living on this beautiful planet. That's number one. Number two, if we continue with this same passion in the coming 25 to 27 years time, we could able to contribute more than 3.7 to 4 billion metric tons of waste. And so this is going to be having a detrimental effect and dangerous effect on the human beings who are going to live on this planet in the near future. We will be all leaving this world very soon maybe in the coming 50 to 70 years down the line. None of us are permanent here. Now, the generations are going to come and live in this planet. For them, it could be increasingly difficult for them to live or have a healthy life. That is why, cities like Delhi and Bangalore and maybe Madras and all other cities, a person living in that particular residence, they are smoking almost 45 to 50 cigarettes per day. That is the amount of pollution they are inhaling on single day basis. So one can imagine our own Indian city situation, that India is one of the major countries, and it is one of the #1 populated country in the whole world, because we got 1.42 billion people. And when it comes to our wastage, although we are not #1 in terms of the total waste that we contribute to this world, we could be probably among the top 3 or top 5 countries that are contributing immense amount of municipal solid waste to this world. So statistically, maybe 68 to 70 million metric tons of wastage India is contributing to this world on every year basis. And if you look at the average figure, the people that are contributing wastage to this world is, although we, as I said, that we got 8 billion people, on an average 0.7 to 0.8. That means close to 1 kilo wastage every human being living on this world, they are contributing that 1 kilo wastage every day. So you can imagine that what is going to happen in the years to come if we keep on creating a lot of waste for ourselves. And that is absolutely, this planet, the carrying capacity of this planet is only, it can carry the human beings. They are close to 1.25 billion people. Now today we are 8 billion people. That means we are close to 600 times more than the carrying capacity of this planet already. So if we cannot able to manage this waste, and then we are digging our own graves, in fact, that is very, very important. I would like to mention here. And the other point, ladies and gentlemen, is that though there are waste to wealth initiatives that are being initiated by Government of India, many governments across the globe. For instance, South Korea stands #1 in the world in terms of zero waste kind of a country with zero waste. So zero waste doesn't mean that there are human beings living there. They're also creating a lot of waste there. But unfortunately, the way that they create the waste, the way that they try to manage their waste is very important. So therefore, they are the one who are perfectly managing their waste. Eventually, they could able to say that they are zero waste. So the zero waste concept has been started not 10 years ago, not 20 years ago. Starting from 1986 onwards, South Korea is practicing. Now, when it comes to India, we also have Prime Minister initiative recently, that Waste to Wealth initiative by the Science, Technology, Innovation Ministry in collaboration with the Ministry of Environment, Forests and Climate Change. They were working hand in hand. So that is actually Swachh Bharat, and there are so many missions, Clean India, Green India, and so on and so forth. But when it comes to the wastage, and even one can tell me the truth that I was there in India about 2 months ago, and while I was traveling from Greater Noida to New Delhi to the airport, Indira Gandhi Airport, I could see there is a hill when we are coming from Greater Noida on left-hand side. There is a big hill. One can see that. That big hill is a waste hill actually. The wastage, everybody is coming and dumping there, and there are so many vultures and other animals that are rotating there, and such a horrible smell that it creates. So how much waste we, our people, are creating is absolutely one has to think about. And when you travel in the trains, particularly we have beautiful trains that have been started the past few years. Everybody, whatever they eat, whether it is Moompalli or whether it is whatever they eat, and it could be cool drink or chips and anything, the fruits, they just throw, they love to throw just in their near and in the train itself, majority people. And they also throw through the windows. That is the kind of thing. And We are not talking about the illiterates here. We are talking about the educated people that are there. So if they couldn't able to control their own waste, they think that the government municipalities are going to be responsible. That never works. Everybody is responsible for their own waste, ladies and gentlemen. If we cannot, clean your own wastage, you cannot create your waste. Actually, that's what is important. Now, country like Singapore, for instance, Singapore is rising, and from 1960-62, Singapore situation is worse than a Zimbabwean situation or many other developing countries, Malawi situation, and so on. So for the past about 50 to 55 years down the line, Singapore rise like a star because everything that they do in a very unique and in a very unphenomenal and very kind of efficient manner. So if you look at the waste, for example, in Singapore, they are able to, whatever you throw, garbage, whether tissue paper or anything that you throw in Singaporean land, though it's the smallest, one of the smallest countries with about 700 square kilometers land. That could be some of the districts of India. They are bigger than the Singapore itself. So the efficiency in terms of the waste to wealth is, they take the waste, they collect the waste in 2 hours, the waste is destroyed. And they are generating the power, they're generating the kind of energy through the waste. So this is the waste to wealth is an important concept that every country in the world, every human being in the world, they need to inculcate this kind of good habits. Now, if you look at the bottles, plastic bottles, in Indian scenario, for instance, we have 50% of the wastage coming from the plastic bottles. And every 1 minute, there are million bottles are being used in in the whole world. Now imagine for 24 hours, how many millions of bottles are being used and what is going to happen to those bottles, one has to think about. Out of 68 million metric tons of waste that, Indian people that could able to generate, only less than half of it has been collected, and remaining half, what is going to happen to that? So that is the kind of problem. And there are people, they got a lot of diseases because airborne diseases and environmental borne diseases, they are very, very dangerous than any other diseases actually. So therefore, we are creating problem for ourselves by creating the waste. Now the previous, I think in the interest of time, ladies and gentlemen, that waste is, if you look at the waste can be converted as a wealth. And if you take the industries, waste management industries in Indian perspective, for instance, they are getting close to $30 billion through the waste management. So that can imagine, I mean, somebody was collecting the waste and trying to sell that waste maybe for 15 rupees per kilo or 20 rupees per kilo or whichever the way. So the waste is converted as a wealth. And so this needs to be done by every individual. So we do have different types of wastage. It could be human wastage, and particularly with regard to the waste that we create on a daily basis for the food waste. And we are creating immense amount of food wastage where more than 60 to 70 million people in the country, they could able to die without having the food and they are starving actually. So that is one of the important concerns that we need to regulate the food wastage. It could be vegetable waste, it could be any other ingredients that we use in producing the food. That's where the people are creating the wastage. So they need to regulate that. America is the largest economy in the world and is also largest producer of wastage to this world. So they themselves, they are about 335 million people in the whole country. They are creating almost about 100 million metric tons of wastage to this world. So one can imagine that the wastage in India, in America is much worse than any other country. China and all these big shots, Indonesia, they are among the top 10 countries in the whole world to create the wastage. So ladies and gentlemen, in the interest of time, I would like to state that it is not the duty of the government, it is not the duty of the municipality, it is not the duty of a local level government. It is the duty of every individual that is living on this planet, being responsible and being respectful for our planet. Because planet is not just like a planet, It is our mother, in fact. When you try to create waste and damage our planet, that means you are damaging your own mother. You are damaging your own identity. You are damaging your own, well-being, actually. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we need to protect our earth, and we need to convert whatever the little waste. There is so much to say, but I don't want to take much time. I know it's already late. Therefore, everybody should try to regulate their wastage. And therefore, they need to save the environment and make this environment more clean and neat. So this is what I would like to offer today, ladies and gentlemen. And I would like to thank Ravi and all other colleagues working hard for IDYM for providing me this opportunity. Thank you, Varanda.
Thank you so much, Ravinder sir. It was very nice listening to all the facts and figures related to the waste and all that. It's a great knowledge, of course, that you have shared with us. I hope Anju ma'am is going to be there for the vote of thanks. Anju ma'am.
Yeah, of course, I am there. And yes, Ravinder sir, I was listening to you. And as you said, there were a lot of analysis which he has done. Like he must have traveled to many countries, and he came up with so much of analysis. And yes, of course, we have to start from ourselves. We talk so much about waste and its management and how to make better use of it. So, yeah, and as it has been said by other speakers also, we have to start from ourselves. We should know how we have to use, we have to use that waste, how we have to use it in a proper manner, how we have to dispose it. That is very important, and we all should learn. Okay, that was really a very great conference, and like we had 21 speakers from 21 countries, and we were actually listening to the initiatives that have been taken by all different countries, we can say, all the different countries that were there. In fact, we didn't repeat any speakers from countries also. Everyone was representing a entirely different country, and there were so beautiful presentations. And thank you to all the speakers, and thank you, Anita Paul ma'am, for such a wonderful hosting. And of course, thank you to Ravi Shankar sir, who always comes up with wonderful initiatives, so great initiatives and unique initiatives always. All the sessions, the whole session, I can say it was really very, very, very informative and knowledgeable. And coincidentally, now I am actually working with the students on a project, and myself I am writing a paper on waste management using IoT. And when I was listening this, actually I was just noting down the points wherever I found out something. Okay, I can use this, and I got so many ideas. So that was really great. So thank you, and all, for joining with us and making this conference successful.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Anju ma'am, being out there. Yeah, of course, today was a day of learning. Of course, we have learned so much related to how to not to waste the air, and how we can just convert it from waste to wealth and waste to health is like very important. Thank you so much for being here. I think we can leave for the day, right, ma'am?
Yes, we have finished all the speakers. Thank you.
Thank you.